Hey guys, it's Marzette again, and welcome back to the Gifted and Insane. I just want to kind of touch on a topic that is special to me. I guess all of them are in their own way, but I want to talk to you about self-love, and this will probably be the topic of a number of podcasts here as we grow. But over the years, I didn't realize how big of an issue I had with self-love. And when your mind is poisoned with the negative thoughts, and you have the negative cloud in your mind, or what I like to call the negative thought loop. And the negative thought loop, what that is just this series of thoughts that are negative. It could be implanted by someone else. It could be implanted secondary to an experience that you've had, and something that you will not let go of, and it just loops around and around and around to where it helps you maintain a negative state. And the negative thought loop, if you can visualize just like a wheel of negativity just spinning around in your head, it kind of keeps you glued to where you are, and it keeps your mentality in a terrible place. I say it's like poisoning a well. If a well is poisoned, you can't drink from it. So if the well where you gather your thoughts from is poisoned, you can't pull any positive thoughts out of there. So we have to filter all that crap and that garbage out of there and get that poison out of the well. We won't be able to sweep it all out, but if you start the process and try, where I challenged myself on that to help with my negative thought loop, was to challenge myself on what I say in regards to myself. I could get a compliment from someone and immediately, bam, I come out with, oh, well, that sucks anyway. Or I shouldn't have done this. Or, oh, well, yeah, this is terrible. But, how about saying thank you? How about not be a rude jerk, accept the compliment, and then bask in it? I had an issue with that. And that was my negative thought loop that I needed to stop in its tracks. Don't get me wrong, it's not very easy to do out of the gate, especially if you're immersed or feel like you're immersed in just the negative, in that cloud, in that negative mental loop, I should say, not a negative thought loop, negative mental loop. And that negative mental loop makes everything feel heavy, It's like carrying around a backpack full of bricks. If you're not going to build anything with that backpack full of bricks, put it down. Put it down, because it's just heavy and it weighs you down. If you're not a mason, you don't plan on building anything with the bricks, put the bricks down. And if you can't take the backpack off, take it out one brick at a time, to where you still got the backpack on, but it's eventually empty. And then maybe you can put some positive stuff in there. Or one for one. For every negative brick you take out of there, put a positive one in there. I use all these symbols and metaphors, but that works for me because I have a very vivid imagination. Hopefully some of you out there listening have that imagination too. But take it off. You don't need that weight on your shoulders. That contributes to you loathing yourself and not doing things that you need to do to take care of yourself. That carries over. The energy you put out, the expression on your face, even like the color of your skin, you just look like just a gray, we want to see a 4K TV and we're looking at a black and white here. So just find whatever way you can. Well, if it's either changing your environment, being around different people, going for a swim, do whatever you need to do to start taking better care of yourself inside and out. You can lift weights all day, but if you don't get your brain together, you don't get your mind right, it's not going to work. You got to start off with some serious self-care. And self-care is not being selfish, worrying about your body and your brain and how you appear. In that sense, in terms of health, it's not being vain. It's not being stuck up. It's being sensible. It's keeping yourself on the right track. Because if you feel good mentally and physically, you'll make a lot of things happen. One thing that turned it around for me was reading a book by Kamal Ravikant. This book is entitled Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. Love yourself like your life depends on it. Chapters were an easy read, thank God, because I also stressed out when I had the book to where it affected even how I could learn. But I was determined to change. And when I read the book, I looked at some of the mantras they had in there, and one of the things that he asks you to practice is to get in the mirror and repeat to yourself that I love myself, and make amends with that person you see. And trust me, if you start doing that, when it happened for me. It felt weird. It felt crazy, and I was like borderline embarrassed of looking at my own self in the mirror. It was powerful though. I didn't imagine how weird that would feel to say that to myself. And it's one of those things, I hate to use it, I hate to say fake it till you make it. But I stuck with it, and I practiced it, and I said it to myself. And in a book, you'll find out, if you decide to pick it up, that he was walking around just on his daily, running errands, doing whatever, saying it to himself in his head. Me, I had to mumble it to myself. Luckily, we have things like these ear pods and stuff like that, so it didn't look like I was talking to myself. In a sense, in reality, I really was. Telling myself I loved myself. Hopefully it does the same for you if you decide to read the book and follow that practice. But it worked for me, and it was the starting point of me to bring myself on this path to enlightenment, to try to be a better person and be my higher self. It started me off. Hopefully it can start you off too. He has another book called Live Your Truth. Live Your Truth. Just like any books, it's subject to whoever's reading it about how good it is. But the chapters are short, they're easy read, and it works for a person like me. Because at the time I felt really dumb because I felt like my brain wasn't working, and it was all secondary to stress. Stress manifests itself in so many different ways. It started to affect my ability to learn and retain information. I had stress-induced alopecia. I had a buddy that it affected his skin pigment. And I'm African American, and he's a shade darker than me. He started getting these light patches. Luckily, people said I look decent with a bald head, because I don't think it's coming back. But what can you do? Grow is what you can do. You can grow. But we will touch on this self-love thing. It's huge. There's so many people out there that tout this. There's so many resources out there. There's so many books out there that you can read that'll get you going. But what got me started was love yourself like your life depends on it. And it does. It worked for me. On the next time we touch this subject, I am going to find more resources for you. I'll bring them to the forefront, and I will definitely share it with you. Let me know. You can leave me a voicemail. You can communicate with me, through emails. The Gifted and Insane, at gmail.com, giftedandinsane@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram at ZETWIL 88 on Instagram. The numbers 8 and 8. ZETWIL number 8, number 8. Okay. Yeah. So that's it for this one. Self-care is not being selfish. You guys better get started right now. And I don't mean being vain. I don't mean being stuck up. I don't mean having your nose in the air looking down on everybody else. Just make sure that you're good, that you're straight, that you're good. Everything else should fall into place eventually. Okay? All right, guys. Thanks for listening. This is Marzette, and this is The Gifted and the Insane. Take care. Be safe, guys.